everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm the big dog in the room. This is Big Dog Still Gaming. Hope you all had a great weekend. I myself have been pretty busy coming up with some new content for you guys. I have a lot in the works. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. I think you guys are going to like what I have in store for you. This is the latest installment of BDSG Weekly News, where I update you guys on what's happening in the world of gaming and hopefully give you some news you can actually use. Let's get into it. This week we find out Netflix is looking to develop its own AAA shooter game for PC, but not from your typical source. In fact, the information comes from a job posting on the Netflix website for a new game director. The job announcement states the studio is looking for a game director with experience in shooters to work on a brand new AAA PC game. Among other things, the new director must be able to develop a world and characters in Unreal Engine, as well as develop a narrative that is worthy of Netflix film or TV series. Sounds pretty much on point with what you would expect. That is, if you ever asked yourself what would a modern day shooter look like if it was created by Netflix. Perhaps this was to be expected. Hell, it should have. Netflix just purchased a video game studio in Helsinki back in September of this year, then opened another studio in Los Angeles in October. Netflix seems to be moving pretty fast. Perhaps the company is anxious to fill the void left by the loss of over 1.2 million subscribers this year, but then they still have over 220 million, so maybe that's not all that big of a deal. Either way, a new AAA shooter with a narrative worthy of a TV series sounds like a great idea to me. It'll be interesting to see how things unfold over the next year or two. We shall see. Microsoft and Sony were at it again this week. Or should I say still at it? Some of you might know Microsoft brokered a deal to purchase Activision-Blizzard for $69 billion earlier this year. The deal is perhaps the largest consumer technology deal since AOL purchased Time Warner over 20 years ago. The deal of this magnitude was bound to bring on some scrutiny. Currently, the deal is under review by about 16 countries, perhaps much to the delight of Microsoft's largest competitor, Sony, who has released a number of statements in the news and formally to some of these regulatory bodies condemning the deal, calling it anti-competitive, specifically in regard to the acquisition of Call of Duty, citing the popularity of the game and the potential of it becoming an Xbox exclusive. Sony even threw Battlefield under the bus, citing how it could never compare to Call of Duty. A couple of weeks ago, Microsoft formally offered Sony an agreement to keep Call of Duty on the PlayStation platform for at least 10 years if they just keep quiet and let the deal go through. Sony has yet to respond. Earlier this month, the European Commission made a decision based on a preliminary investigation to launch a formal investigation into the matter. In response to this news, Microsoft released a statement, and I quote, "The referral decision incorrectly relies on self-serving statements by Sony, which significantly exaggerate the importance of Call of Duty to it. While Sony may not welcome increased competition, it has the ability to adapt and compete." Sony, of course, denied the allegation and reasserted their position, stating that it is highly likely that the choices gamers have today will disappear if this deal goes ahead. While it would be difficult one to ignore the possibility, I simply question how effective such a strategy would be. Would it be enough to convert a PlayStation loyalist? What impact would it have on COD sales? I mean, after all, not everyone can just buy a new console on a whim. People who don't have an Xbox but have a PlayStation have it that way for a reason and probably won't buy the game. But let's assume that making COD exclusive is what Microsoft plans to do, and prospects of which are 100% good for Microsoft and 100% terrible for Sony. Do we really care? It's not like Microsoft's competitors are small mom and pop shops that couldn't take such a hit. We're talking about Sony and Nintendo, and not really anyone else. These guys are huge. I just find it very hard to empathize with them. And then once you consider all the video games Sony has exclusive rights to, like God of War, Last of Us, Neo, and Uncharted, this whole situation just brings to mind a quote from one of my favorite movies from the 90s, Rising Sun. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. Business is war. In my opinion, that is all Sony's tactics have been, and I'm pretty sure Microsoft would do the same if the shoe was on the other foot. They have to be stupid not to. As long as the consumer doesn't get screwed, I'm good. Hopefully this all gets squared away soon, at least for Activision's partners. Gameplay footage for the new Overwatch 2 character Ramatra was released this week. The video confirmed some of the abilities from a list that was displayed at a PR event in Korea earlier this month. The list was also posted on Twitter a couple weeks ago by a user that goes by the name of Overwatch Nairi. A link will be in the description if you guys want to check out the full post. Oh, and don't forget, Season 2 starts December 6th. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is just give you guys a heads up. This week, Ubisoft finally confirmed that the Far Cry 6 DLC, Lost Between Worlds, is real, and that it will be officially announced this coming Tuesday on November 29th during a special live event that will live stream at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys liked the video. Share the video. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. Once again, I am the big dog in the room, and this is Big Dog Still Gaming. See you guys on the next one.